Right, so this week, been really busy on it. You probably won't notice too much in the way of difference at the moment until I start running through things, but there's some on this side, some on the other side, and also there's a new choice of material for what it's going to be covered in, which is basically going to be white leather, some black leather as well, I think, but basically the whole interior is going to be leather now, pretty much, including the seat coverings, I think. I think they'll probably be white leather as well with some black seat cushions, but I'll have a think about the seats, but definitely the interior and all the dash and everything else. All these bits and bobs aren't going to be sticker bomb anymore. I've decided against it, which will please a lot of people, because a lot of people don't like it anyway. So this will all be going. It's kind of already going anyway. It's sort of taking bits off as and when, but yeah, that's all now going to be leather. So yeah, I'll run through what I've been doing. So let's go from this side. Quite a few bits actually, this side and the other side of the car. So this speaker ring wasn't in before. This was like all gaps and stuff around the outside. I mean, obviously this is where the grill goes, not a gap. There was all gaps around the outside, didn't fit properly. That's all fitted, nice and solid, all flush. All this has been flatted back, sanded. All around here has been flatted back as well. I've had to do a little bit of work on shaping this. I've got a little bit here which I haven't done yet, this section here, but apart from that, everything else is mainly done. This piece is sort of looking good now. It's looking quite good around this side. Where the original piece was here, obviously I've cut this out, so this is now all nice and smooth. So this has been taken back to the right shape, and obviously to let the seat in, because the seat obviously slots in here, as you'll see from previous videos. So the seat basically sits in that gap and sits there. So that's quite handy. I've got some work to do on the seats this week basically, but I'll show you the seats in a minute and show you what I've been up to with that, because that's coming along really well as well. So yeah, basically what I've done is I've made an access panel. It's screwed in at the moment. This black piece here, this comes out, this whole section. So that basically comes out of there, so I can get to cables and stuff behind there for maintenance and troubleshooting and whatever else I need to do in there. That's taken a bit of time, so basically I've had to extend the floor backwards a bit. And then just basically just so it doesn't interfere with the seat is the idea. So this all been sort of moved backwards, and then this screws in with 5 screws, and obviously I've had to extend these sections and the section in here, which, because this piece before, the seat sits obviously alongside here, and then it kind of went in with the original design before I was going to do the seat like that, and kind of went in towards that speaker hole there, which now it doesn't. So I've fiberglassed all that. It's been fiberglassed into the floor as well, or fiberglassed into this whole section, into here, all blended in, so it's nice and solid. I've also been doing this section here, so I've basically done a load of fiberglass in this side, so it's been again into the floor, into the top of here again, and into this little section along here. The sticker bomb isn't normally there, it's basically just stuck over the top at the moment, but I've been sanding it back and taking it back and everything else, so it's not kind of part of it. As you can see, it's not part of the fillered bit. I'm sort of taking it off as I go along, in case you're worried about that. But all these little seams here, these have all been done. All these little stupid things that you think, oh, it doesn't make any difference. Well, when it comes to airflow and all the air side of things in the car, when the bass is kicking in, all these kind of things can cause issues basically. So all these seams are now done. All the seams along here, these are all fully fiberglassed, fully filled, apart from the bottom section, which is really tricky to get into, sort of in there, that fourth speaker, but all that is basically done. Not looking forward to those bottom speakers, to be fair, they're going to be a nightmare, but there you go. Yeah, that's looking quite good. So that's all smoothed off, the right sort of heights now. Obviously before it was all over the show, now it's nice nice heights, ready for leathering, everything else. I think that's it on this side. I did a little bit of work on this centre column, so I fiberglassed this whole section. This was all really rough before. I mean, it's not exactly amazing now, like, but it's a lot better than it was. It's 100 times better than it was. So that was all very, very rough fiberglass. It wasn't even done properly, to be honest. But that is now all fiberglassed in. Just got to get a little bit of a skim of filler on it. It's very difficult to get the sander in there, hence why I'm trying to get it as smart as I can in fiberglass, and then take it back a bit and put a little bit of filler in there. Same with that top piece of the roof. Very difficult to get the sander in there, which you can't really, have to do it by hand. Not looking forward to that either. But there you are. All this section here has been fiberglassed over the top this week as well, basically to make it flat, make it smooth. You can see it better from the other side really, but it's basically the same all round. It's just this one section to go, as I say, in there, which I might still leave it slightly curved, just basically so I can actually get in there. It's the general gist, and it might help with with the aesthetics of it anyway, but we'll see. I'll go around the other side. In fact, no, I won't. I'll show the seats first. They're at the front. You can't really see them that well, but so the general gist is the passenger seat, which was completely rough on the last video, isn't now. So this is the passenger one. All this section here, obviously this was chopped out before. You can see the difference in size. There's a thick one and a thin one, so it actually fits. But obviously once I took that section off, that was obviously a bit weaker then. So what I've done is I've fiberglassed in, over the top again, underneath the whole thing. It's all been fiberglass underneath the whole seat, under the underside section as well. Done the first layer of filler on that, first layer of filler on this. I'm hoping to have these two seats finished by the end of this week. Ideally, depends on weather, to be fair, but ideally by the end of this week or into next week. But it won't be long, that's for sure. These are getting towards nearly done now. Very much flatted now, the right sort of shapes on the side. Just needs the lines tidied up a little bit on the final finish, but that's about all. These corners need looking at still. Again, that's part of it, and I'm going to be doing the top coat anyway afterwards. So most of those disappear. It's kind of like a self-leveling type product that works in there. It's had all this has been sanded back once already. I've just got to do the corners here, make sure they are the same. It's just got a few patches of filler where it's just been building up with a couple of low spots. Same on this side. This one's nearly done anyway, but you can see this is now going to get in towards sort of final finishing. Now this has had a top coat layer already, and it's had a few little patches where it just needed taking back a little bit, just to make sure it's nice and smooth and basically job's good. That's the plan. So yeah, that's the seats. So hopefully they'll be done this week. We'll see how we get on. Then we've got this side. Okay, so where should we start? Let's start at the top. So again, so this is all this week. This is I've been busy. I've got all this flat, all here on the top here. That's all flat now, perfectly fine. All fiberglass. Don't know if we can even get in there. But you can see it's a lot smoother. The right shapes. All good. All good down here. Looking nice. This section here has been causing me a little bit of grief, but it's working nice now. This is all flatted again this week. This is completely flatted now. Doesn't look it, but it is. It's all down to 60 grit. So that'll basically go into a 240 grit, which is the easy part. I'll be getting that basically sanded back. There's a few bits and bobs that are stood in black up here and stuff like that, but obviously they just need taking back. It's just 240 grit. That'll all be done this week as well. Probably next week actually. This one, sorry. All this is done. All this is the right height, as I say now. That's been recut now to be the right shape. A little bit came out of there, so I've got to just finish that off on the end when I was cutting it, so I had to do a fresh cut. Obviously it's going to get covered in leather anyway, so you won't see none of the joins. It'll all be nice and tidy. It's got to do the bit behind there. I've started it. You can see it's a lot better, but it needs to work on that. So yeah, that'll be very, very soon as well. It's also screwed in now. I don't know if you notice, there's two screws in there. So that now screws into the back piece. It's nice and solid. Well, it would be if it's screwed in. It's not currently, but yeah, it's nice and solid when it's in. All these gaps have been done now. Just needs, obviously when it's screwed in, it fits nice and snug against that. Again, same as the other side. It's now had all of these seams done, the whole lot along there, right down to the bottom actually, to about there. And then this side, all of these seams are done. Seams again, all the way along, up to, I don't know where it is. I think it's there, about there. So again, it's just that last speaker, which is going to be the fun part. Done a bit of work on this top section. I've been really busy, to be fair. I can talk myself to death here, but yeah, you can see how this is coming along nicely. This has had some filler work on this top piece. This section here is now getting more of a nice curve to it. There's still a little bit of work to do on that to get it completely flat. So you can see how it kind of comes down here like a nice sort of shape and then kind of dips a bit there. So it needs to be nice curve basically to make it look nice, but that'll be very, very easy to sort. I've just got to tidy this section up here, basically so it doesn't look like it's sort of, that's the good thing about having it in prime, you see, so you can see where the corner's going to look strange. So it's good to have that, and now I can take that back and get it nice and smooth into a proper little section so you can't see any lines and things like that. Quite handy. Again, up here, the roof side of things, this whole section, this was very, very rough up here. I mean, it's not great again still, but just try and show you. So this section's now had a load of fiberglass chucked in it. and wrapped around the roof. So it's roughly the right shape now. In fact, it's pretty close to the right shape, just needs flattening back a little bit. See, there's some spots under here that just needs flattening back. That's what makes it look a little bit dipped in the middle. It's really not. So that's all nice and solid. Again, the fiberglass goes into the back of the frame as well, where the perspex screen's going to sit. So this is literally all tied in together. So it's like a big monocoque, basically. All this fiberglass side of things is all just molded into every single section. Whenever I do fiberglass in, I don't just do a section. I wouldn't just do that little bit there and do that. I'd make it so it goes underneath there, into the corners, everything. So yeah, it's nice and solid. Again, centre section from this side looks a lot better. There's a little bit of filler work required, as I say, a little tiny bit, but the general gist is that's a tiny skim of filler on that now. Well, I say tiny, maybe a bit more than tiny for some people, but tiny in my sort of levels. Fairly tiny section there. That'll be good. I've got to put a new section on here. This piece here in the middle, that's also going to have, it's going to be doubled up, so there'll be another piece welded onto that to make it stronger in the middle there. But that's just an easy job later. So yeah, there you go. That is, I think it for the week. Well, for what week I've been working on things. Next week, plan is, if the seats are all done, I'll be test fitting those. I'm going to be getting this port flare finished, because that's definitely a job I need to do very, very soon. Some more sanding and flattening and various bits and bobs around the usual interior sections. But to be honest, once they are done, and I make sure the speaker holes and things down here are flat, make sure the speakers fit and that sort of stuff, little test fitting bits. As soon as they're done, the interior is basically ready for 240 grit, and probably that'll be it for then. I'll start working on the outside. So anyone who's bored of the interior, yeah, should be a result. So yeah, but on the inside, on the outside, I'm also planning on doing some work on this door fairly soon, because this really needs some work. I really want to get that sorted out and make sure it fits properly and everything else. So yeah, I'll be doing that as well. But yeah, anyway, that's it. So sorry I've been rambling a little bit, but I thought I'd better show you everything I've been doing. And yeah, feel free to subscribe. Like as well, obviously, if you can, it always helps. Turn your notifications on so you always get notifications, because a lot of people are always saying to me, oh, I don't know where your project's gone, I haven't seen you for ages. Well, I post all the time and I'm always on YouTube, so subscribe and hit notification bell, the bell thing, and you'll see the updates, so you haven't got to miss out on anything. So yeah, there you go, that's it for now. Yeah, I'll do another video next time. It's next time there's something to show next week, hopefully.